Hey guys, you're watching one and only. My name is AJ and we are back on another episode of Let's Build Springfield. I need to turn down my speed. Speed to 2. Nope, I didn't. I just said speed 2. Speed to 2, there we go. We're a little bit more controllable now. Today we're going to be building Sanjay's house. We're back over at the residential district here. It's really starting to look good out here, I think. We're starting to get quite a build-up, quite a community out here. And I really like it. I think Sanjay's house would suit very, very well here. Very cool-looking house with some very, let's say, interesting choice of colours. I think is probably the best way to put it. Let's have the corner right there, and then drag this out. Now the bottom window, or the window on the ground floor, are slightly different to the windows on the top floor, so we need to take that into account. We have a window here with the packed ice in it. No messing about today, we're just jumping straight into it. And then this, we could have it like there, there, and then there. And then the one above it would have, yeah, that could work out. That might be the size that we want. And then we have 2 blocks in the middle, where there's also going to be a lamp, because that's about what the lamp is on the picture. I think that doesn't look terribly bad. And then up this side, we then have the door with another lamp on there. But no window on this side. I'm going to leave this side for the moment because we're not 100% sure how wide we want that section to be. We know this window has to be 2 blocks high. So we can have this running along here with a clay over the top. And then how many blocks in between? I think maybe just a single block between this ground floor and the first floor window. But it is slightly different. They're the same size. They're going to be 2x4 windows, with this along the top, but then with the purple that goes around it. These choice of colours, I must admit, I would probably stay away from purple, orange, and white for your house. It's just my own opinion. Maybe you guys have that colour schemed house, and if you do, then I'm sorry for insulting your colour scheme. It's just probably not for me, I'm afraid. I probably want that as the edge of the house, and then bring this one in one to give us our 4 wide window again. I'm looking on the picture, and the door here, like this edge of the door, isn't perfectly in line with the window. Maybe it should be, but that would mean adding an extra one to there. You know, yeah, that might be better. Let's add an extra one here. And then that gives us our 4x2 window in here. I think that's going to look neater overall. And then this goes around the outside, down the middle here. Oops. And along here. Looking good. Okay, so there's the main front of the house in. I think that looks okay. I think it's starting to look very tall though, so when we do the roof, I think I'll probably be putting the roof on this level here, so the actual tiled roof itself is going to be sort of touching those top windows, which it does look like it's doing on the picture, but it's also going to let us drop the height of this house down. I think that already looks better like this. Now we have a trickier part. Now we have a part where the roof of this section is at the same sort of height as those windows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this white clay along here, which is going to be the level for the roof to then go onto for this part, and then I'm going to do the window below here. Now this again is a smaller window, so maybe we just do a 1x2 window, and we put it in like that. It's a little bit smaller than what we would really want, but otherwise, the window's just going to end up being absolutely huge. And I think I'm going to add 2 blocks. Like that. Perfect. Okay, and then it comes out for the garage. I love building garages in Minecraft. They always look so cool. So we'll have that in there. I like having a 5-block gap for garages to go in between. 3 blocks high, I think, is a... Yeah, that'll be perfect, in fact. 3 blocks high will be perfect, because then this roof will be down here like this. Let's just put a block there for a moment. Like that. Yeah, and then that roof is slightly lower than that roof, which it is on the picture, and then that roof is a couple of blocks lower than that roof. So far, we're running pretty well to scale. The only thing that we're going to have to watch out for is the height of the roof on this garage. We've mentioned this before on other episodes, but I think on this one, it's actually not going to work out too bad. Now that we've got this window in here, you can imagine the roof itself. Oops. Running up here. Upside down, of course it would. There, and there. Take these out. Oh no! No. We're ruining the place. There we go. That one. And then that one. I want them really make sure that this doesn't look too high. Oh, missing one. Yeah, I don't like that though. I think this should be the orange block, which is going to be the color of the roof anyway. Does that look too high, or does that look about right? It's a little bit higher than what it appears to be on the picture, but it's as close as we can get in Minecraft, and I think that's going to work out pretty well. Let's make this into a driveway. A wand, set to stone, and then put the garage doors down above it. I think I want to turn it around though. I think I want them on this side, and then we can hit it with a hammer. And what one do we like? I think that one's the closest to the picture. That's actually not too bad at all, is it? And then, oh no, good, I had it right. So this is hardened clay. This is the block. It's slightly different to the ceiling color. It's like a little bit darker, but it's the closest block I could really find. In fact, looking on the picture, that is like really close to the color that we want. So I'm happy with that. I'm very happy with that. Okay, let's just do the driveway down the middle here, or the walkway. Perfectamundo. And then I suppose we should work on this side now, so it's going to come out. Well, if we wanted to get this dead accurate, it would need to be 3 blocks wide for us to be able to then get the window in the middle here. Does that look too far out? I think that's going to look a little bit too far out. Instead, I'm going to put the window here. I know this looks a little bit strange at the moment, but I'm just looking ahead. I'm looking at the roof area on this and the chimney section, and I think this will be better scaled than having the window in the middle. I don't know. It's just what I think. Just my own opinion. Okay, now let's work out the width. Now, unfortunately, having no window down this side of the house makes it very tricky to work out exactly how wide we would want it. If there was a window, it would make things a lot easier, because we'd be able to say, oh, this is obviously a 4-block wide window, and then it would be problem solved. But I think that's going to be as close as I want it, or as wide as I want it. The wider we go, again, with the whole high peak section, the wider that we go with this part here, the taller this part is going to be when we do the roof, and the taller the whole roof is going to be. I think we're going to have a pretty tall roof anyway. That's why I'm trying to keep the building pretty much as thin as I can. In fact, that's a pretty good width for the length of the house itself. I'm happy with that. And then that'll come up here and up there. Just got to fill in a few blocks here. That'll be seen otherwise. There'll be like holes in the whole place. Like that. And then this one comes up here. And then we have the peak, and again, peak up here. The tallest peak. Like that. That works out pretty well. I don't mind having odd numbers when we're using these slopes. If you have an even number, or an odd number, sorry, you end up with this flat spot in the middle, which doesn't look great. I mean, in normal Minecraft, you'd be very, very happy with that. But in this modded Minecraft, you basically want it to always be an even number, so you can do that. Now, that isn't possible to do in default or vanilla Minecraft, but on here, it's exactly what you want. It's very, very strange. So, we don't obviously have a picture at the back, like with any of our Minecraft builds. We have no idea what actually is at the back, and I don't think the Simpsons designers themselves know most of the time what's at the front or the back, because obviously they change episode to episode. So we obviously want this to... Well, you know what? I'm looking on the picture here, and this part of the roof seems to just go back all the way. It doesn't seem to go up to a middle point and then drop down again. Do you know what I mean? Like how this part would. It looks like this part of the roof just goes up diagonally, and I really don't like that, so I'm actually going to ignore that. I'm not going to do that. I don't do that often with buildings. I like to keep them as close as I can to the rest of the build. But with this one, I just really don't like it. And the garage, I'm actually going to bring out 1 block wider than the house, just to give us a little bit of shape and dimension on the back here. Let's get our wand back. 159. There. To there. Set to 150. Apparently, I had organized my enter key to be my stop recording key. Who does that? Who changes it to enter? I don't know. My computer went a little bit funnier earlier yesterday, I think it was. And it must have like just changed to another default button or something like that. Yeah, I hit enter and it's just like, nope, stop recording. That's it. You're not doing anything more. I was like, okay then. I shall stop for a second. Put these on here. Standard roof building here. We've done this, or I've hopefully showed you many, many times now how I start off these roofs, and how by doing it this way the roofs end up building themselves. Like, you don't really need to worry about them at all, about them all lining up. You go around all the edges first. Give me that orange back. All the edges first, and then obviously this section is very, very easy. This is just going to line up straight into itself. This section we're going to build up as if it was a peak. I say we were just talking about on the picture, on the real one, if you like. It doesn't, but on our one, it just doesn't make sense in real world building. Otherwise, it won't work. It physically won't work. So we don't really have too much of a choice. Like this. Oops. So they come up there and down there. You guys can do the rest of that, I'm sure. Work that out. Ah, we've done it now. I was going to leave it for you guys to do. Okay, and then this part of the garage is a little bit tricky. There's some blocks that fill in, but most of it, to be honest, is going to be pretty easy once you know how. We're going to place that there. And do I want to tie it in? I could tie the roof in like this. This is how I would build the house if I were doing it as my own build. However, no, that is how I'm going to do it. I am going to tie it in. I think it'll look better. So that's easy enough to do. And then this one here can tie in itself like this. Oh, I've changed the thing. That one. There. And there. And then this one is nice and straight. We might as well do it all. How long have we recorded? I have no idea how long we've been recording for, because it stopped recording halfway through. So it's reset my timer. Oh no, now I have no idea where we are. No problem. Alright, like that. Orange goes down the middle here. We might as well put this in. That's something that these or these Carpenters blocks don't have. They have a block like this, but obviously that's not very helpful for on the top of things. And they have a block like this, which is perfect for when you're doing some sort of top peak. But they don't have one that goes sort of up and down, like a top for this section. That would be very, very handy if they managed to somehow do that. I don't think it'd be that hard, but they just don't seem to have it at the moment. Okay, and then we want this. I'm going to wrap this around, I think, actually. Go in the right way. Why you not go the right way? I keep getting comments on some of my videos. Why you no take beacon from well? Is that a thing? I have no idea. Apparently it's off. Is it popular MMOs or something like that? I have no idea. I keep getting comments. Why you no take beacon from well? Makes me laugh, but I truly have no idea where it's actually from. Okay, and then the rest of the roof is really, really simple. So I am going to cut away to do the rest of this section now. It's going to be nice and easy pillars up here, and then this top section is very, very easy. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to colour it all, and then we'll be back for the chimneys and the final few details. Amazing! Apart from maybe one slight problem, we never done the back. I was halfway through the roof and I was like, why can I see this much grass? Something's just not right here. And I was like, I know what it is. I think I'm going to put the door over here instead on this side. Just to make it a little bit different. Just to make it stand out a little bit more. So we're going to have the one window above the door like we had before. But then we're going to have two windows on this side instead. Oh, hiccups instead. I've had this sneeze on the end of my nose all day. No joke, no exaggeration. When I got up, when I first woke up, I was like, I got a sneeze on the end of my nose. It's like really, really close to sneezing. And it never came. And I got up every day. When I get up, I always jump straight in the shower. That sort of wakes me up a little bit at least. And I have a nice shower. And all the way through the shower, I was going, I need to sneeze. I will be sneezing any moment now. Still, nothing came. No sneeze occurred. And I checked all the emails. I checked comments from last night and replied to as many as I possibly could. And all the way through that, I was like halfway through a comment. I was like, here's the sneeze. Nope. It was a false alarm. It never came. And now throughout this video, this sneeze has like been right on the end of my nose, and I still can't do anything. How can I make myself sneeze? Bear in mind that by the time this video goes out, I would have probably gotten rid of the sneeze. But for future reference, what is the best way to try and make yourself sneeze? Sniff pepper. Sniff pepper is always a good one. I think sniff pepper is probably one of the best ideas. I don't know. Maybe you guys have a better one. Maybe you have a one that isn't quite as harsh on my nose. I'm going to take that out. Let's just put a nice little door in here. Feather under the nose. What other ones are there? There's pepper. Feather under the nose. How else can you make yourself sneeze? You know, I can't remember. I'm going to put lamps over here as well. I can't remember what else makes you sneeze. Oh, can I put... I can't put these around here, can I? No, I can't. That's a shame. That's no problem. Yeah, well, I can't think of anything else that would make you sneeze. There must be tons of things. Oh, hot food. Not as in... hot, as in... Whoa. Oh, I don't think you guys would have heard that. A lorry just drove past my house with its like air horn blasting away. The microphone might have picked it up, but that actually scared me. My heart like sank a little bit. I thought there was going to be like a horrendous accident. Whew, that's my heart still beating pretty fast. I have no idea what I was saying. Oh yeah, sneezes. Yeah, there must be other ways. Yeah, hot food, as in spicy hot food. That usually makes people sneeze, doesn't it? If you're like not used to it. So that could work. Okay, so chimney comes up here. Chimney doesn't go too much higher than the main house. I'm going to go one block higher. And then we're going to add just a nice little top to it. Just makes it look a little bit more chimney-like. Oh man, that lorry truly scared me then. I thought there was going to be like a horrendous crash and I'd have had to emergency stop recording in order to go and help or whatever. Let's make this 2 blocks wide. Like that. And like that. So it sort of curves around a little bit, doesn't it? Like it does on the picture. And then put them down here as well. Oops. Perfect. Oh, and spruce leaves. Just so they're a bit darker. Spruce. They are only slightly darker than oak. Unfortunately, you can't cut down any other leaves in the game apart from oak. If you cut down spruce, the cut down versions turn into oak. It's very strange. I don't quite know why it does it, but it does, so I can't really do anything about it. Let's just make this a nice cool little edge there. That looks cool. And then we have a larger bush down here that sort of wraps itself around. I don't like that one there. But we'll put these up here. I don't want to go too much higher than the window, if at all. So we'll have these like this. And then that one. And that one. That looks good. I like that. Oh, there's a letterbox. Oh, I forgot. I didn't see a letterbox. Okay, we'll do the letterbox. And then I've also got this fence here. Have I needed to grab anything out of my inventory today? I don't think I have. Or out of this part. Oh, spruce leaves. I think that's the only thing. That's not too bad for me. I was prepared quite well today. Is it that one? No, it's that one that I want. So let's run this down the side of the house. And it would go into the back garden. I must admit, I have been very lazy with back gardens on these places. It is my fault. I do apologise. I just doing just a fenced off back garden with a tree in it. It's very easy. It doesn't take long to do, but I've just been really lazy. I'll like dedicate an afternoon one day to it, and I'll just like do them all at once and then show you and surprise you all one day. Okay, nice little oak fence along the edge here. There's no quicker way to do this either. Oops. Blocking my face. Alright, we must be at the end of the episode now, so we're going to pretty much leave it there. I think we've done everything, right? We've got one stone goes there with a tap on it, like that. And then we have a letterbox. This is something that I'm going to have to cut down for. So we'll cut down that. I think I can cut it down. My saw back. I think I can cut it down one more and still have it in the middle. Like that. And then we want... that's probably as close as we're going to be able to get it to keep it centered for a letterbox. So it'll be right there. That's as close as we'll ever get to a letterbox, I'm afraid, guys. Minecraft just doesn't tend to allow itself to be that flexible. That's pretty cool, though. That's a really cute looking house. If you guys enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe. We shall see you in the next episode. Bye!